Welcome to PYQ session of biology previous year questions, and today we are going to about the chapter control and coordination. First, about the MCQ questions from the part control and coordination. Let's see the first question. See, in a nerve cell, the site where the electrical impulse is converted into chemical signal is known as. We know that in a neuron, how the nerve impulse transmission happens as electrical impulses. Here we know the dendron, dendrite, cell body, axon, and when this electrical impulses reaches the axon endings, the synaptic knob. Inside the synaptic knob, there is synaptic vesicle, and inside that, there is neurotransmitter. Once it reaches the synaptic knob and it breaks the synaptic vesicle and the neurotransmitters are released. The chemical is released in the junction. The junction means it can be in between two neurons or between one neuron and a muscle fiber. In between a muscle fiber. So, this is released, this chemical is released junction. So, till here it is transmitted as, it is traveled as electrical impulse. Once it reaches the junction, then only it is converted to chemical signal. So, the chemical signal is formed in the synapse or the gap between two neurons or in between one neuron and a muscle fiber. So here, which is a type of synapse? Synapse is given here, it is neuromuscular junction. We know that axon, dendrite, cell body. Here all the message is traveled as electrical impulse. So, neuromuscular junction is the correct one where the message is converted. The electrical signal is converted into chemical signal. So, the correct option is neuromuscular junction. Neuromuscular junction is a type of synapse. From synapse only, it is converted into chemical signal. So, let's see the next question. Select out of the following a gland which does not occur as a pair in the human body. Does not. See here, does not. It is not a pair. If you see testis, ovary, and adrenal gland, all these are in pairs, right? The testis is a pair of testis is a pair in male reproductive system. It's the primary reproductive organ. It's a pair. Ovary is the primary reproductive organ in female. It's also in pair. Adrenal gland is located above the kidney. That also in pair. Both the kidney. Now, which is not in pair? That is pituitary gland. So, pituitary gland is the which does not occur as a pair. Okay, let's see the next question. Select from the following a plant hormone which promotes cell division. Here it is gibberellins, auxins, abscisic acid, cytokinins. We have learned about many plant hormones and their function. See, here it is given gibberellins. The first one it is given gibberellins. What is the function of gibberellins? Growth. Growth is the function of gibberellins. Growth of stem, root, etc. Now, seed germination. Seed germination is the function of gibberellins. Now, when you come to auxins, okay, auxins. What is the function of auxins? Cell elongation. Cell elongation. Cell differentiation. Cell differentiation, all these are the function of auxins. What is meant by cell differentiation? Transformation of meristematic tissues to permanent tissue is cell differentiation. These are the function of auxins. When you come to abscisic acid, what is the function of abscisic acid? What is the function of abscisic acid? That is preventing growth, or it is a growth inhibitor, or we can call it as a growth inhibitor. It's a growth inhibitor which helps in wilting of leaves, which promotes wilting of leaves, etc. Now comes to the cytokinins. What is the function of cytokinins? What is the function of cytokinins? Its function is cell division. Its function is cell division. Its function is cell division. So which is the correct option here? It is cytokinins. Cytokinins function is cell division. So here it is given, select from the following plant hormone which promotes cell division, that is cytokinins. Next question. A plant growth inhibitor hormone which causes wilting of leaves is called. Already in the previous question we have discussed about the function of this hormone. So which is that? That is abscisic acid, which acts as a growth inhibitor. Abscisic acid acts as a growth inhibitor, which helps in wilting of leaves, which causes wilting of leaves. So it is abscisic acid. The option is abscisic acid. Next question. The correct sequence of events when someone's hand touches a hot object unconsciously. So what is that mechanism called? When someone touches a hot object and he suddenly takes back his hand, what is that process called? We know that it is reflex action. And in a reflex arc, the pathway through which this reflex, that message goes and come back, that is what we call the path, is called reflex arc. Which all are the events in the correct sequence we have to mention. We know that the message is happening in the receptors in the skin, right? It is stimulated. The receptors are stimulated. So the first one is receptors in the skin. And the message is carried by the sensory neuron. Sensory neuron carry the impulses. Now, sensory neuron carry the messages to spinal cord. In spinal cord, it is in connection with the relay neuron. And relay neuron is in connection with the motor neuron. Motor neuron is the neuron which carry the impulses back to the muscles. So here, according to this, which is the correct option? C. Receptors in the skin, sensory neuron, relay neuron, motor neuron, and effectors in muscles or arm. So this is the correct sequence. Okay, let's see the next question. Sense organ in which olfactory receptors are present. Olfactory receptors. So we have learned in this control and coordination chapter many receptors. We have 5 sense organs, and all these 5 sense organs contain different types of receptors. So let's see. Olfactory receptors. What about nose? Nose contains some kind of receptors which can detect the odor, the smell from different substances. And these receptors are called olfactory receptors. Okay, so the correct option is nose. And what about skin, tongue, and ear? These also contain some kind of receptors, right? So what about skin? The skin contains mechanoreceptors. The skin contains mechanoreceptors. Okay, different receptors that can detect pressure, temperature, cold, etc. Mechanoreceptors. And tongue. Okay, tongue contains gustatory receptors. Gustatory receptors which can detect the taste. Tongue contains gustatory receptors which can detect the taste. Now, inner ear which can detect the sound. So these are called phonoreceptors. The inner ear contains the receptors which can detect sound, auditory receptors or phonoreceptors. Inner ear, it contains phonoreceptors. So all these contain different receptors in which the sense organ, the olfactory receptors are present. Olfactory receptors are present in the nose. Okay. Next question. Select from the following the correct statement about the tropic movement in plants. Okay, about the tropic movements. In this chapter, we have learned two types of movements, that are tropic movements and nastic movements. What is the difference between tropic movements and nastic movements? Tropic movements are growth-related movements, and nastic movements are not related with the growth. So here we can see the option. It is not due to stimulus of touch and temperature. It does not depend upon the direction of stimulus received. It is observed only in roots and not in stem. It is a growth-related movement. So what is the question? Select from the following the correct statement about tropic movement. So which is the correct statement? It is a growth-related movement. Tropic movements means it's a growth-related movement. So the correct option is option D. Next question. In plants, the role of cytokinin is, again it is repeated, role of cytokinin we have already learned. It promotes cell division. Role of cytokinin, it came in 2023. See, role of cytokinin is which promotes cell division. Next question. The part in which gustatory receptors are present in our body. These questions also we have discussed when we have done the previous one. Gustatory receptors are present in our tongue. Gustatory receptors are present in our tongue. So option C, tongue. Next question. See, walking in a straight line and riding a bicycle are the activities which are possible due to a part of brain. Choose the correct location and name of this part from the given table. So here you have to select the part of brain which help us to ride a bicycle and walk in a straight line. That means balancing the body, balance of our body. Balancing is maintained by which part? Which part of our body? That is by cerebellum. Cerebellum is the part which controls balancing. So here, which is the option? C. Option C, hindbrain, cerebellum. Cerebellum is the part which controls balancing of body. Now let's see this question. Here it is assertion and reason given. Assertion, receptors are usually located in our sense organs and perceive a particular stimulus. What is the reason? Different sense organs have different receptors for detecting stimuli. Yes. We have 5 sense organs and all these 5 sense organs have different types of receptors which detect different types of stimulus and that form impulses. So what is given here? The assertion, receptors are usually located in our sense organs. Yes, the receptors are located in our sense organs. All 5 sense organs contain receptors and different sense organs have different receptors. Yes, we have learned that skin contains mechanoreceptors, tongue contains gustatory receptors, nose contains olfactory receptors. Like that, each sense organs have their own receptors. So here assertion and reason both are true and reason is the correct explanation. So we have to click the first option, that is A. Thank you. We'll see you in the next session, that is 2 marks, 3 marks and 4 marks questions.